Welcome to the More Than Fitness podcast.
Greetings, imaginary podcast friends, and welcome to Minisode number... hold on, let me pull up my notes because I'm a procrastinator. Minisode number 36 on the More Than Fitness podcast. Today's topic is one that I've gotten multiple times from clients, from random people on the interwebs, like you all on Instagram, on email, etc. And the question, to sum it up basically, is how do I get my workout habit back? Now, we're in a weird spot right now because a lot of you are going to have gyms opening up here soon. And now we're in this weird spot of, okay, I don't want to do home workouts, and we have this little period of time before gyms open up, and I'm trying to make myself, because we all know that it's going to be pretty easy to get motivated to go back to the gym once they actually open up, at least if you make that choice to go back whenever gyms open up, at least within the first couple of weeks of it opening. And I think many of you will. So motivation then is going to be a problem. But we have this little period of time here where we've got to finish. Right, we're in the fourth quarter now. We're trying to get through this quarantine. We're trying to make sure that we at least do something on a regular basis. If we haven't figured it out by now, sitting around and working out like once a week or something just is not going to cut it. And I know it's tough. I know it's difficult, but there are ways to make sure that we keep our asses in shape. And trust me, I'm speaking to myself here. And I've had to talk to multiple clients about this, clients who have been very motivated in the past. And since this quarantine hit and they have to do band workouts or bodyweight workouts or dumbbell only workouts, it's presented some challenges. And I think that there's a few ways around it. And that's what I'm going to go over today. And for some of you, maybe whenever the gyms open up, you're still not going to be able to get back in the swing of things. You may for the first couple of days or something, but maybe you'll see that you end up falling off track quicker than you thought, right? But either way, I think that these lessons will be helpful now and also in the future if you ever fall into some type of rut or fall into this issue again. So how do I get my workout habit back? I think the first thing that you have to recognize is that shit happens. Obviously, with the coronavirus and things that have happened, you're going to have to be able to ride that wave of motivation and of just accepting that shit is going to happen, right? And recognizing, all right, now is not the time that I'm going to optimally train 4 to 5 times per week, use this awesome workout plan, make sure all my supplements and my nutrition is on track or whatever. We're just trying to make sure we get in like 200 push-ups a day or something like that. We're trying to get in some type of motion, some type of momentum, right? And I think that that's okay. Like you have a funk going on. A lot of people say that, and you have to just embrace that funk and just recognize it for what it is. It is what it is, and you have to try to keep your focus narrow. I've talked about this before about keeping your world small, and this is whenever people have this wide view of, okay, I haven't been doing anything for the past couple weeks. What's been holding me back is that I don't have some type of perfect plan. I don't have this well thought out, organized structure to what I'm about to do. And so then you just feel like it's pointless, especially if you had really good, structured workouts before this quarantine hit. And now you're just kind of scattered. You're all over the place. You think that you need to have this big plan in action, and then you're gonna jump on it and you're gonna finally start getting motivated again. But it's simply not how it works. So instead of thinking about, okay, what am I gonna do tomorrow? What have I not been doing for the past 2 or 3 weeks? And dwelling on the past and anticipating the future and trying to figure out what you're gonna do. It's like, you've just got to start with today, right? And you've got to be able to ride that wave whenever shit does happen, and just not judge yourself too much for it, and try and get back on the horse as quickly as possible. Which brings me to my second point, which is we need less thinking and more doing. A lot of us, to be honest, just need to stop being drama queens. And yes, if that kind of hurt a little bit whenever I said that you're being a drama queen, maybe there's a hint of truth there. I think I don't want to do bands. I don't want to do dumbbell only workouts. I don't want to do body weight. Like, listen, nobody fucking wants to do this stuff. But nonetheless, you need to be a healthy individual that takes care of themselves, because that's part of your identity, and it's part of who you are, and it's part of the promises that you want to keep to yourself. So instead of being pissed off because gyms aren't open, or the government's doing this, or you don't have access to barbells and machines and dumbbells even, and just whining about things not being perfect. It's like, stop being a drama queen. Stop thinking that you need X, Y, and Z in order to happen so that you can finally get started on something. It's like the thing with motivation is that action begets motivation. It's not the other way around. It's not, oh, I'm motivated, now I'm going to get to work. Yeah, sometimes that can happen, don't get me wrong, but often what happens is it's the other way around. So whenever you start taking action, whenever you just start doing fucking something, then you're going to get motivated because you're building momentum. You're like, okay, I'm actually doing something now. You can course correct and adjust later on and make it more quote unquote optimized. But for now, let's just do something. Let's figure something out. And this is bring me to my next point. Start with something small, right? This could be going for a walk and listening to a podcast for 20 to 30 minutes. This could be knocking out 50 push-ups or 100 push-ups in one day. I've made a prior podcast in Minisode about micro workouts. I'd highly recommend you check that out. You could do 50 kettlebell swings or something, or dumbbell swings if you have those. There's so many small things that you could do. The only reason you're not doing them is because you think that it's not worth it, or you're judging yourself for not doing anything in the past. So you're just going to continue, oh, okay, I'm just going to not keep doing anything. It's much easier that way. It's like, what's the point of doing 20 push-ups? It's like, well, it's better than doing 0 push-ups. But for some reason, you keep justifying it to yourself that that's not worth it, right? And so, yeah, starting small with something like that, getting a very, very small amount of friction to even just get started. Because then what happens is you build that momentum, you start rewarding yourself for these workouts that you've been doing. You start to feel good. And typically, it's just the starting part that's the hardest anyway. And after you get the snowball rolling, then it becomes much easier after that. So those 20 kettlebell swings are like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Maybe I can also knock out 50 push-ups. Okay, I'm also feeling good, so I can do some dumbbell curls, or I can do some pull-ups, or I can do some crunches or ab work or whatever, right? You just got to get that snowball going. And oftentimes this can come from like if-then statements. So if I do these 50 kettlebell swings, I'll reward myself by watching my favorite show later. Or I would highly recommend not to make your reward food, because that's kind of counterintuitive and also probably just not best for your relationship with food. But I would pick something that you enjoy doing and just bargain with yourself. It's just, if I get this done, then later I will do X, Y, and Z, and just turn it into a little game with yourself. Which brings me to my last point: make it a game or make a new challenge, right? Somebody asked me on my IG Live the other day, this was on my Drunkcast Q&A, they were just like, I'm bored of my typical dumbbell workout routine on a regular basis. What do I do? And it's just like, well, there's not much you can do, honestly, besides find a new routine or turn it into some type of challenge. You could either challenge a friend, you could challenge yourself from what you did yesterday, maybe a certain amount of push-ups in 10 minutes or something even as simple as that, some type of density challenge, like, okay, I need to get X amount of reps in 10 minutes. And if I don't, then I lose to my past self. You could do it with your spouse, or, I don't know, make it a game with one of your kids or something, right? There's plenty of different ways you can go about challenging yourself with this. And you could also choose like a Spartan race later on down the road or something like that, or some type of competition as far as bench, squat, and deadlift later on, right? because then you still need to take action today to get the ball rolling in that right direction whenever gyms do open up, whenever you do have access to barbells, dumbbells, things like that. So doing push-ups now could lead to increasing your bench press later, but sitting around doing nothing isn't going to do anything for your bench press at all. So I would say the last thing would be make it into a game, make it into some type of challenge. Could be anything, honestly. You can if you don't typically run, do a little running challenge, do a daily running challenge where you go out and run for 10 minutes each day, because I promise you go out and try and do it for an hour, you're going to be more out of shape than you thought. And also you're going to be very sore whenever you get done with that run. I am speaking from experience, so take it slow if you decide to go a different avenue altogether. Or if you don't typically do circuit training and supersets and have low rest periods, give that a shot. And I think it'll spark some different interest in you. You'll get a different type of motivation. You'll get a different stimulus from it. You'll feel good. You'll feel tired after doing it because you're very inefficient at doing these types of workouts in the first place. So I think it'll be a win all around, honestly. So yeah, how do you get your workout habit back? I'm going to sum it up real quick. Realize shit happens. You got to ride the wave. Second one is going to be less thinking, more doing. Stop being a fucking drama queen. Number 3, I actually missed one. Okay, here we go. Buy your motivation. I completely forgot about this. So you hear all the time people talking about how you need to worry about, you have the pyramid of things that are important. So you have like calories, macros, nutrient timing, and then you have like supplements all the way on top. Well, I think sometimes you need to buy your motivation and flip that on its head, because sometimes that brand new pre-workout that you just bought can be all the motivation you need to end up working out way more frequently than you did before the pre-workout. So sometimes that supplement that's on the top of that pyramid can actually lead to the consistency that you need in order to make gains on a regular basis. So it's kind of a catalyst to the change that you need. So buy a new supplement, buy a new workout plan, buy some equipment for your actual home gym, or hire a coach. I know a guy, that's a terrible joke. I coach people, obviously. If you want to work with me as a client, there's always a link in the description. And I'd be happy to talk to you more if you have questions or if you want to get something going. But yeah, so that's the last one. Also, yeah, that's all. So ride the wave, less thinking, more doing, buy your motivation, start small, and also make it a game/new challenge. And that's it for Minisode number 36. How do I get my workout habit back? As always, thank you so much for listening and for watching. See ya.